All right, everybody. I believe we are live. I am doing this from a remote location, so hopefully technology holds up. Welcome. It is Friday, September the 4th of 2020. And this year is flying by and not so easily. So we'll get right after it here today. I know that some of you have sent me some recordings to take a listen to, and I will do that. But I do want to make a distinction at the beginning of this call. Yesterday, during the mastermind, it's always nice to follow the mastermind with the sales training call. We talked a lot about the concept of an inbound call, because oftentimes on this call, we talk about outbound. So we talk about scripting and what to say when you're calling. We heavily weight this a lot right now to the concept of an outbound call to an expired or perhaps a probate, even an internet lead, whatever it might be. But that's the act of us picking up the phone and outbound calling somebody. Sometimes they don't expect us to be calling at all, like an expired. Sometimes they might have a hint because they actually left their information on your website. But those are outbound calls. Now, the other part of the business that happens quite often is the inbound call. And that can happen in a lot of different ways. You can have a call where you have actually spoken to somebody, sent them some information, and then they inbound back to you inquiring about what you sent. And so, I know I have a couple of my hot seaters with Jessica, Heather. I can see all you logged in early. Autumn will tell you that there were often times that we actually sent a package out, into our pleasant surprise, an inbound call came in. And you need to be ready for that. So we need to put that in this discussion as much as the outbound stuff. Now, clearly, this is a training call. So what we're trying to beat into everybody's head is that there is certain training that prevents you from getting shot, per se, right? In other words, hung up on too easily, because you're saying these weird things that allow you to be more vulnerable than you need to be, okay? But a lot of times money is made on the inbound, and we're just not ready to think on our feet. Now, I will say this was not a campfire week. But Campfire, TRC Campfire, has a very particular dovetail training that goes along with sales training, where we teach you the value of knowing what plan you're following. So as telemarketers or outside sales agents, you always need to know what plan you're following. So the seller and the buyer plan are everything. Because you can get thrown off. Let's say we train Jessica and we train Heather. All the folks are getting trained right now to make an outbound call to an expired. We become very micro-focused on that one thing. But of course, the variety that you have to deal with is what happens even in that call. Is it all of a sudden that somebody says, well, looks like a beautiful home. Why you're trying to sell it in the first place? Well, I have a house that I really want. Boom. It instantly should click in your brain. Buy side, buy side, buy side. I have a plan for the buy side. Right? And your tagline in your head before it's even expressed to everybody, why us? Because we have a plan. It's that simple. So if there's one fundamental thing for you being trained by me and then coached by me, there's two separate things. Training, here's the plan, here's the plan, here's the plan, here's what it says, here's what it says. Right? Coaching is when you bring me an anecdote, you bring me a call that's recorded, you tell me what happened in the field. Those are all coachable moments for me, but they are against the plan. So remember, Campfire beats the plans into our brains so we don't cheat. By the way, this is for the top producer team leaders here too. I can't tell you how many of them are not rooted in the fact that they have a plan. It's very difficult to get the brain to train and be disciplined when it thinks it can do things on muscle. So when you hear me lean in hard on somebody, it's out of love to collide with a paradigm that gets them away from a place I can protect them with training. Now, again, I'll say we hear calls where there's a buy side. Gail has always been great about bringing some recorded calls, to me on this call, Paul, etc. And we're listening for that real second beat where it gets a little bit more intuitive. And you must be a good listener, and you should never be nervous if I train you correctly and you learn correctly. You always default to your plan. If you feel nervous or you feel off or you feel lost, you just say to yourself, what is the training in the plan that I have to protect me? Go back to it. Okay, so inbound is the most discombobulating. Let's say you pick up the phone. A lot of people are afraid to pick up the phone. Salespeople, when they see the number, they don't recognize it. They actually let it go to voicemail so that they can vet who it is first, rather than simply being properly prepared so they're the first one that answers the phone, right? That you're excited on an inbound call. Who's this? says the curious mind, because you know you're ready to go. Okay, cool. Heather, I never recognized there was a surfboard in your background. Is that a surfboard? That's killer. I like it. All right. I muted you all on the way in. Feel free to unmute me right now so that I know who I have for recorded calls here, and then you can verify that we're being heard here. I know Amanda has some call recordings for me, so I'm definitely going to take those. I see Kleba has sent me some also, presumably.
We have sent you some from Amanda.
Yeah, I just said that. I see those.
Oh.
And yep, I said.
Danny?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sam just private messaged me that she sent me a seller-buyer call that kind of mirrors what you're talking about. So as soon as I get into my place and can forward that to you in about 5 minutes, I'll do that.
Beautiful. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to go in the order of receipt. So I have Kleba first. Chris, I don't know if you are on as well. I know, Heather, you're definitely on. So you can unmute me.
Yeah, I know he had an appointment. He was meeting with someone at 1.
All good.
And my 2 calls are kind of uneventful, but I figured I'd send them.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, listen, let's, uneventful might teach us something anyway. So let's take a crack at them. Let's take a peek at what we see, and we'll go from there. Remembering, I'm glad you bring that up, because one of the things I want to tell people, when you bring me an anecdote, this is not you'll hear me, by the way, I'm going to keep saying this so everybody knows my style if they don't know me. If I hear a paradigm raising up inside of you, I have thousands of hours of coaching. If you'll trust me, you'll let me collide with it and challenge it, and we will think through it together. So I just want to preface that by, if I lean in on somebody, I sound rude. Stop. You'll hear me say that during a call. It's because I hear this paradigm that's interfering with something. So I just want to give that premise too, so that if I hear anything today or I'm on somebody, you have to deal with paradigms, and that's what prevents people from doing better, is their belief system, which is loaded with misperceptions, and we don't know what we don't know. Those two things alone are what we're training against here today. The bad guy, per se, in the room is a bundle of misperception, okay? Misperception and all this negative paradigm stuff. We don't know what we don't know, okay? They collide, and we have to attack, all right? So tell me a little bit about these and why you sent these two in particular.
Well, the reason I sent them is because it was actually recorded calls where I spoke to somebody picked up.
Yep.
So what I've been seeing recently, past couple weeks, a month, most of my people that I'm either sending the program out to or getting them to talk to somebody or meet with somebody, they've come from people that have called me back. So when that happens, I don't necessarily get to record them.
Yes.
Unless I call them back and then I use the dialer. So most of my stuff that's transpired is because somebody has called me back.
See, brilliant.
So,
all you did was validate my introduction here today.
Exactly. It was funny because you're talking like that. I'm like, oh my God, he read my mind, because I'm pretty good when they call me back, but I do like to have the information up in front of me.
Correct. Perfect.
So,
perfect. And so perfect. You give me a perfect segue. You validate. And again, what you're validating is not me. It's not about me. It's about the development of a system that's reliable. So what you're saying is that when we get the right, because Autumn experienced the same, and she can speak to this too, but what we experienced was that when you have that good, solid, clear call, the material gets out to them, because I've had a lot of questions about leaving messages, and I'll deal with that today. It's not lost to me that multiple people have asked me about that this week. I'll deal with that. But when you make that good connection, Heather, in that first call, or you leave a very clear, articulate what's in it for them to call you back, or why, or whatever, and they do, people that tend to be the avatar, which you've already described, meaning what's the avatar? The one that's open to talking to us and then having us out. They're open. They're intelligent. They appreciate a profession. I'm not saying the people that aren't, but I'm saying their circumstances and their own intelligence, they hear that professionalism. They appreciate it, and they're more agreeable to engage deeper, which includes that appointment. Very logical. Everything here is extremely logical. But now, like you said, we get nervous when the good thing happens because we're undertrained. So it's perfect that, again, I understand if they call you back, it would be wonderful if you just said, okay, here was a call back. Instead of dialing right away, I went to the dialer so I could record it for training purposes. Sure, do that. Just don't lose your flow, and not on double negative. Do not answer the phone just
Right.
because you want to record one. Just please, like, understand, I'm not trying to get this fanatically perfect, but it would be great from time to time if you call back on the dialer and recorded what was really an inbound. Okay. So, but you like, it's not like I'm Nostradamus or anything. I don't need to predict the future when I know the predictability of a system, right? Because we've already experienced it in our own world, Heather and I mean, Autumn and I, and then now you're experiencing, others have, I'm sure Sam has. Anybody that's done it long enough and does it appropriately gets that experience. So let's just listen to a couple of these, but bravo. And then you and I, after listening to a couple of these, we'll dig in deeper on the inbound. Hang on.
This is Zach.
Hi, Zach. This is Heather. I'm calling with the Premier team from REMAX. I'm calling because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed it didn't sell, so I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. Can I do that?
No, I'm not interested. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Tuffy. There's not much you can do with those guys.
He hung up on me.
What's that?
Yeah. He hung up on me, but can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
So, Chris was saying that he thinks I'm still speaking too fast. So, can you just listen back?
I didn't think so at all.
Fair to you? I'm trying to slow down.
I didn't think that at all in that one. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it again. In fact, I worried you were a little too slow in the very beginning, ironically. But no, I had no problem with the speed of that one, at least. Let's listen to it again. Oh, hang on. It's not going. Let me just refresh my screen here. It just got hung up. Yeah, I didn't think so in that one. I thought it was very, if I can clearly understand what you're saying, and I know I'm trained, to the highest degree to hear, but I just didn't get that vibe that it was too fast. So let me go back to it. Bear with. Here we go. Let's see, hopefully.
This is Zach.
Hi, Zach. This is Heather. I'm calling with the Premier team from REMAX. I'm calling because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed it didn't sell, so I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. Can I do that?
No, I'm not interested. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the speed was perfect, so I can't agree, at least on that call. Let's go to your other one and see. And by the way, this is part of the job that, I know that feels demoralizing when somebody hangs up on you, but that's part of the vetting job here. That's the administrative side of the sale, Heather, right? You're vetting these people and their willingness to receive information, right? So he's a quick no. I mean, some trainers might argue, well, you got to go back after him. You got to keep him talking. There's too many fish in the sea. Right?
Yeah.
There's too many fish in the sea.
You talk about that inflated database. That's not what we want.
Nope, you definitely don't want that guy. It's when I say you definitely don't, I'm going to be careful of an absolute statement, right? If I heard you fumbling and stumbling and he hung up on you because you were fumbling and stumbling, I'd say it's still on us. But in that case, you were perfect. Your articulation was perfect. Next. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not going to take a lot for you to be successful. So over the course of a year, that's a lot of time. And there are a lot of good people that will respect you more than he did, right? So we just don't need that, right? Because usually where there's smoke, there's fire. See, we know one thing especially about expireds and probates. There is a real problem typically with the people. And they're typically emotional or something's wrong. I mean, most of Autumn's deals, or 50% of Autumn's deals that she has gotten me, we are in a position where we're solving the person, not even the property. I mean, we got one right now that he's an elderly gentleman. He's got a business in the place. He had a variance that nobody else is going to get. And it's just torturous to try to get this poor guy to deal with moving. And now he's like, why am I moving at all? I'm only 1 year left on this contract with the Veterans Administration. We're like, yeah, now we go back and renegotiate with the people. Just leave him in there for a year. Here's the rent, but right? So you're solving the people a lot of the time. So if you hear somebody who's really, really cantankerous and at least not, listening, I don't mind the guy because we have a client right now. It's very, very difficult. He talks in circles. I think he's bordering on having some mental health issues at this point in his life. And so it's tough, but that's a solvable deal, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a good job. I can't critique that one on anything negative. It's just wrong avatar. All right. So let me go to the next one. Let me just move some stuff on my desktop. And let's hear this one.
Hello?
Hi, Eric. is Heather with the Premier Team at REMAX. I'm calling because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
Well, we've decided to stay. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah.
Okay, no problem. So your plans change. You're going to stay in the home.
Yes.
It looks like a nice property. Why were you trying to sell it before?
Good.
We just
Were you looking for something bigger? Or?
No. Let him speak.
no, actually trying to downsize a little bit. I've
Oh, okay.
this is over an acre lot, and it's all yard, and it's just a little bit more than I can handle at the time. But things have changed, so we're just gonna hang out for a little while.
Okay. And what area did you think you were going to go to?
But we're gonna stay in this
Same area? Yeah,
Stanley.
Okay.
Wilmington, yeah.
All right. Okay. I got to stop it. You now you can't be patient, right? You with me?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's very impatient. Are you nervous?
I don't think I was.
Okay.
I think my brain was like, what do I really need to ask this guy to get him to talk to me, to tell me exactly why his plans changed.
You need to follow.
I get a lot of people that just shut me down. They say that's my business. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
You know, so
but that's okay.
There could have been a little bit of that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, you're rushing. You're rushing, and you're out. You're 2-3 steps ahead of the conversation, and that sounds like you're not listening to him, and it makes it more difficult to accomplish what you're trying to. Because if you're 2-3 steps ahead of him, he doesn't feel like there's anything in it for him, and now you're starting to sound like everybody else. Because it's actually, and I get it. This is not a harsh critique. It's just naturally what we do. That's why I ask you if you're nervous. Why are you so far out ahead of this guy? Are you not comfortable in your own skin in that softer call? Oh, really?
Well, Danny, she said that she is afraid he's going to shut her down. And I get that. And Heather, the only question you want to ask is, do you think that you're going to be selling in the next year? Will you be changing your mind back? You decided you want to stay there, but do you think in the next year you'll think about putting it up again?
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's a good point, because in the framework of the system, anybody inside 12 months is what I want you all focused on. The database, that when you have that initial conversation, if there's a high probability there's a yes inside of 12 months, it's definitely worth going a little bit further. And then the because, and then hang on, Gail, and then the because is, because if that's the case, I'd still like to send you this information that will help you sell it when you do decide in the next year, right?
Yeah.
So that's an
Those
excellent.
People, I'm totally like, it flows, everything works out. There's just those couple of calls, and I think that's why I wanted to send that one to you, because I'd rather have a critique than send you all like calls.
Well, I don't want that.
That doesn't help anybody.
I want your worst and your best.
Yeah.
Because why? I can juxtapose them for you so that you know what you're better, at least. There's no such thing as best.
And when Autumn said it is really good.
Yeah.
About
Yeah, because what she's doing, see, which I'm proud of her for saying that, she's recognizing the system. That if it's inside the year, that's the system. If it's outside of the year, go ahead, Gail.
He also said that, the place was too much work for him. And so maybe right now he's in a bit of denial because it didn't sell, and he thinks that he's going to be able to do it, but he's not.
Absolutely.
And so Autumn was absolutely right. That would have been my next question. When do you think you might be rethinking about selling?
Yeah.
And I think that he's given you as much as he could, because he didn't want to tell you his plans have changed.
Yeah.
But how did they change? We don't know. Did he all of a sudden get better? I mean, did all of a sudden the land get smaller? No. So, so it was just, that was a perfect segue, Autumn. I would have done the same thing.
Yep.
But Heather, look at you. You're so bright and brilliant and smiling. You're going to attract so many people just by who you are.
Yeah.
So,
Well, by the way, she already has. She already has, right?
I know she has.
Yeah, you've gotten what? You've gotten a 600 already, and he's got a 1-2. Give me a quick update so I know, because you haven't been doing it that long, and I want to be encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, I just went through all the ones that I handed off to the agents. There's at least 18 that were handed out, that were up to them to follow up, call, get the appointments, that kind of thing. And then we have, I don't know how many 7 steps that we've sent out that we're following up
Yeah,
with.
I don't like that, by the way. I don't like what the guys are doing there. I don't like that they're passing it off to agents who
Right.
haven't been trained.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's better when I give it to Chris.
Yeah.
Plus, we work together, and I see him every day. I know
Yeah.
him. I know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
And when I give him something, it usually turns into something.
Well,
and
here's
I
the
haven't
problem.
seen that
Here's the
from
problem.
other guys.
You bring up something very important for everybody to listen to. And you can tell Patrick, you can tell all those guys, they better listen to this recording. It's only
Yes.
22 minutes in. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a sin. To have you go through a systematic planned
Oh.
approach and then hand it off a follow-up to somebody who is completely untrained in the proper methodology to provide a plan is a sin. And they better not dare judge your abilities based on that. They better immediately understand this. You better believe they need training, said Autumn. They are zero trained, not undertrained. That's zero training. I'm going to say this to the top producer, Jessica. We have talked about this with Joe and Jerry too. There is no getting this right. She has a logistical problem with those guys too, because they were giving her too many things to do. And then the follow-up, she wasn't even able to get to. It's like Camp 2 wasn't able to get to his until we moved and changed some things so that Sam could do it. And then Sam, you got successful. So a lot of this is not just the training and techniques of what we say and how we say it, Heather. It's also the entirety of the logistics of the assembly line.
Beautiful process.
And you have
Mhm.
an entirely broken one every time you give it off to an agent. I don't even know their names. So how could it be consistent? How could it be? I don't even know who we're talking about. That's a train wreck every time it happens. And this is what I warn about this team model, this obligation per se, to just give away and hand off these hard-earned appointments to somebody who will not follow up, does not know what to say, has no idea what value you articulate. It's a train wreck. I want them to listen to what I just said. It's 12:23. Stuff it under their nose, right? I don't like it. I don't like it for them. It's mismanagement. It's what it is. No, I'm not calling anybody a bad manager. I'm saying they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
and some of the team is in a different town or county, they call them around here. So they're a good like half hour away from me, so I don't see them. I don't really know their personalities. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to know them, but I see Chris several times a week.
Yeah.
I know his personality.
Yeah.
I know what he's capable of. I know who to match him up with, kind of a thing. And so I can sell him all day long.
Yeah.
Because I know.
But what you know is what Autumn and I know, which is what Gail knows as she develops out Amanda, etc. We're trying to, in fact, I'll be very transparent. I made a management change in my business because originally I had Laura trying to manage telemarketing. That's no longer. She has so much to do on client care. She's tight with closing and past clients that are not getting done. I am taking over the management of the telemarketing department because as I get up above that as the manager, I look down at two people, myself as the outside sales agent, dovetailing with Autumn's work. Why Autumn is on every campfire and every sales training is because now I'm going to just show you what happens with training. She better articulated to you what I was trying to say because of training. Her brain is like 12 months, 12 months, 12 months, 12 months, 12 months, 12 months, 12 months. Don't think we're not sitting here training our brains to dovetail. So anybody else that's going to get something from telemarketing and they're not on the same page, Jessica Rossi, if she gets abdicated to, meaning there's no understanding of what's happening and how it's happening. And don't worry, Jess, I beat on those guys to get this right. And it just takes some time to edit out the assembly line. Because when you come into assembly line as a consultant and you look at these broken things, George Mutat was there yesterday. We had to fix this. It has to be perfectly dovetailed the best it can, or else the consumer gets confused and the confused mind does nothing. Then worse, the mismanager who's above it looks down and says, oh, it's not working. Instead of looking in the mirror and saying, I suck, right? And I do that. I'm talking to myself. If I look in the mirror, and I'm being graphic here to illustrate the point. I'm not trying to be, dramatically silly. I'm saying I look at it and say, I'm the problem until I'm not, right? I'm the problem as the manager above Danny the agent. And then would Danny the manager tolerate Danny the agent what he does in the house? He would now, because Danny the agent is so Rain Man-like. Autumn will tell you, Autumn, when I go out without a physical sheet in my hands that says, Here's what they think it's worth. Here's why they're selling it. All the information that I have asked for. Every time I don't go out with that, I freak out because I know the manager up above us is going to get pissed off. He's going to say, why can't you two just simply do the thing correctly? Because when I get in that house, the tighter I am systematically, the more consistent I am with what she just said. And now the consumer sees a consistency, feels a professionalism, and makes the decision or perception that I give them, we give them, the system gives them, the plan gives them the best chance to win. And when you do that really, really well, you actually set up a completely competition-less lane. I'm not saying there's not competition, because there's 35 other people calling, trying to do it on muscle, make a false promise of a buyer, right? Or a resume. And we're over here saying, nope, plan, 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 plan. We're the only ones thumping it and training deeply so that we can answer it. Follow? So you actually have a logistics problem, and you should scream about it. Here's why. They will sort of blame you, right? If it doesn't happen, I said this to Paul, you can't blame Sam for anything until you get out of the way, right, Sam? And then I said, Sam, now we have to put you in a spot where you are now the only person I'm dealing with. And as you're the only person I'm dealing with, now, Sam, you and I got to get it right, right? Has to be right. But the first thing is,
That's right.
everybody must be cleaned out of the way so we can isolate the work. That help? Yeah?
I mean, I don't know how to really fix it. I know Chris has talked to them, I think, a couple of times about getting on, like, the training.
Oh, I am. I have to do
I
it.
heard him mention to one or two people. So
I have to do a training. I have to do a training. Or I'm going to warn them, don't you dare blame her. If you don't have me in front of the agent she's giving things to on a regular, then don't you dare look at her and say it's not working. Right? Have me in as part of what I do with Chris and Heather, and I will do it, and those guys know me. Have me in, but don't you dare think you're going to be successful. The audacity to think you will be successful at the rate that I am with Autumn, okay? That don't dare, because you don't spend anywhere near the time managing it. And again, it's not a critique of them. It's anybody. I would say that to the O'Connors. I said it to Jerry the other day. Jerry, you and I can't say a peep until we get this dang assembly line right, right? I said it, Jess. That's what I said. We've got to get the flow of information right. So see, 2 little calls, and what do we learn, right? So much comes out of it.
I figured I'd learn something.
Yep, so much. You're right. Just fall violently into the training. Anybody have questions about that or thoughts about that? Any of, like Sam, Jess, since I talked about you, or any of the other telemarketers that might be on here, or outside sales agents who are receiving some stuff? Anybody want to comment on that? Go ahead. Okay. Hearing none. It's Labor Day weekend, Gail. Everybody's half asleep, right? Except my ladies. Oh, look at my lineup of ladies. I love it. All right. Here we go.
We're here.
Let's go to the next one, which is your stuff, Gail. Okay.
Thank you.
I have 4 of them, and then I have some of Georgie's. So let me take, I've got 4 from you. Is there anything? All right. Amanda says, finally talking to people. Awesome. This one I probably could have just been commanding. Okay. Does Amanda want me to use the first one that's alone, or go through the 3? I can run the table here. I got plenty of time here.
Amanda, let them know.
They're a little bit of a mixture, so I guess you could do all of them. They're not really long.
Okay, good. Good. All right, Amanda, I'm going to run the table here. Let me just see. Yours I have to download to open them up. So let me take a run at this one first. Here we go.
Hello? Hey, Mama. This is Amanda with Rossetti Realty, and we spoke yesterday.
Amanda, can you call me in like 30 minutes? I'm just getting an incoming call. I need to get this.
Okay, so that's nothing. So try to send me stuff that, you can get further than a thing like that. You know what I mean? So you there, Amanda? Hey, Amanda, leave me unmuted, please, so I can keep you in the hot seat with me.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I don't think I meant to send that one. There's one that I spoke with, and his brother, he had to do something with his brother, and I think that was the one I was trying to upload, and I clicked the wrong one.
Okay, that's all good. Here we go. Hang on. Got the next one. Like I said, got plenty of time.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Amanda with Rossetti Realty. And the reason I'm calling is because I saw your beautiful home online, but I noticed that it didn't sell. So I wanted to mail you a package of information that will help you sell it the next time. May I do that?
Well, I appreciate your calling, and I've said it didn't sell for a reason because we're remodeling the house, and plus we have an agent, David Young, which you know him really well.
Okay, well, I will make a note of that.
All right, that's good. I'm not going to keep going because I want to stop it there. I thought you were really good for a rookie at this because I know you're not a rookie telemarketer. You remind me the early days of when I listened to Autumn because I thought that was a very beautiful, delicious, commanding pace. I liked it. Autumn, any thoughts on, I mean, it's hard to hear this recording, but any thoughts on
No,
that?
I hear it. The pace is beautiful. The conversational style is beautiful. She doesn't sound afraid of anything.
Yeah.
In other words, her confidence is naturally there.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, me too. I felt the same. So, and look, here's one of those really clear hard no's. We took it off to remodel it, and we have an agent, and he names them, and he goes there. I'm not looking for you to have to pick somebody's pocket. I mean, let's be respectful. Guy has an agent. Wonderful. When's it coming back on the market? Super. Oh, is it something David recommended some changes? Is that what happened? You can be curious, but I don't want you wasting a lot of time because that's pretty close to a hard dead end there.
Okay, because if you listen to it, I did say that to him. I asked him when he thought the remodeling would be finished, and then he just was like, you really need to call David, and
Exactly.
you should co-work with him or something. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and you're done. That's why I'm saying you're done. I
Okay.
see. As a trained professional, I would hear David Young very firmly. I say, wonderful. We don't want to interfere with anything. When's it coming back on? Oh, wonderful. I'll tell Gail. Boom. Next. Right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you're going to find so many people out there. And again, when we start anything new, Amanda, we always have a sense of scarcity or the pressure. I've got to perform for Gail. I'm more interested in your performance. I give you a 10 out of 10 on your opening. That's how good I thought it was.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. Well, but I
keep
know
on working on that one.
I know that from interviewing you. Gail knew you were a real telemarketer, and that's what real telemarketing sounds like. Bravo. Very good. Let's listen to this next one. Very good. I liked it a lot.
Hi, this is Devin.
I'm trying to reach Mark.
Yeah, this is not Mark. This is a relative of Mark.
Oh, okay. I was calling about Loyola Drive.
Oh yeah. I can pass you along to Mark. Just curious, where'd you get this number so I can keep other people from calling the wrong one?
I believe it might have been in his previous listing, maybe as a backup.
Oh.
It's in my record here, but
all right. Tell you what. I'll just let me take down. Why don't I take down your contact and I'll pass it along to him.
Okay, that sounds great. My name is Amanda.
All right. So this is a situation where here's one of those things that throws us completely over the guardrails, right? And we're trying to recover. So here's an example of me saying, go back to the plan. Okay? Just go back to it. Tell the relative, oh, geez, that's funny. They've got you under his name. Some bad information here. Well, the reason I was calling him was because go right into it. I wanted to send him some information that would help him sell his house the next time. And I just wanted to make sure he was okay with that. Is there a number I can reach him at? Grab this bull back by the horns because right now the tail's wagging the dog.
Okay, so I didn't go into it fast enough because I did go into it.
Good. I'll keep listening.
I went
then.
too slow, I guess, because if you kept listening to
keep
it, but it's not as strong as what you just said.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's go get it because good instincts.
With Rossetti Realty.
Getting you through. Rossetti.
Rossetti, ROSSETTI.
Oh, got it.
That's for Gail Rossetti. That's our broker.
Got it.
And my cell number is unique because we're running out of numbers. I think the remote numbers are running out of. So it's 727 228 3863.
Great, thanks. I will pass your contact along, and I'll tell him you called, and maybe he'll get in touch.
Okay, thanks so much. As our broker wanted to send him a package to help him if he's going to sell his house the next time. So I just was calling to see if we could go ahead and mail that.
Good. Real good.
Got it. You're offering realtor services for the next round.
Well, she just wanted to send him a package.
Good. Real good.
That would help him. So she just asked me to call to see if that was okay.
Real good.
Kind of promotional package or something?
No, it's actually like a business plan on
Beautiful.
How to actually sell a house successfully.
Got it.
And she just wanted to offer it because it looks like you tried and it didn't work out.
No, we're actually I won't bother sending it along. We're just holding off for a month and then bringing it back on the market. So it's not I guess you'd say temporary setback. But I think he's sticking with his current realtor.
Oh, okay. So so you're working with him. Okay, so well, do you want to check with him to see if it's okay for Gail to send the package?
Sure. I'll tell him you called. I wouldn't have high hopes. But,
all right, listen. Forget the ending, because here you go again with somebody that's already encumbered by an agent. A lot of these people withdrawing for whatever reason, COVID, fix this up. It's hard to crack into those relationships that exist. Nobody's just going to, unless they're, they really failed them, you're not going to buck these people. But this is another brilliant example of what a true telemarketing brain sounds like. I can hear all of your training and you can hear all of what I've already told you because you're applying it to real estate. You stuck to the word plan. You stuck to what it was. You didn't try to do this on muscle. This is also a 10 out of 10 in the free form section. Bravo. I couldn't have trained you to do it better. And that's what I mean, Gail. When we go and we find a telemarketing brain like that has already had so much experience that you're just plugging in what it is that we have of value, and she sticks to it. She doesn't make it up. She doesn't start babbling. She just stays calm. She talks about the plan. She, again, as time goes on, Amanda, you'll know the value of the plan. Honestly, this is really good stuff for a rookie. And there's not much more you can do than that. And this guy finally comes clean, right? Because he is stringing you on. But your patience and your sticking to the plan draws it out of him. Gail, what a difference a couple of weeks makes, eh?
I have a tear in my eye.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, because and all kidding aside, everybody, it's frustrating as the team leader to have somebody that you put time into that just doesn't get it. Amanda, my dear, you get it. You just get it. Right? So, and you will be successful. Now it becomes a matter of keeping the pace, going deeper in. Next week will be another campfire training on Thursday. We will go into it and you will see the value more and more of the plan. You will understand the plan. And Gail is as good a trainer as anybody in this group. Listen to her. Your resources for me, we're educating you. She had me upload those 2 videos. Watch me talk about this over and over and over. Right? Talk to Gail about the anecdotes. When you do get an appointment, what was it like? If and I know physically you can't go watch her do one. So just ask her to, fresh off of meetings, what was it like to be in that house with that guy? Right? And just learn, because you're like where Autumn's at. You're learning now real estate subtleties. But telemarketing, woo, man, was that good. Really good. Yeah, no, I mean it. Like,
I'll keep trying.
Well, I now know you didn't BS me in the interview, right?
Well, Danny, she had a $17 million listing appointment for me to go to in Hillsborough, California on Saturday, and I started doing the research, and all of a sudden it went active.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, she's knocking on that door, Gail. She's close.
Yeah. I know.
You two are going to have to play the game with urgency. Amanda, remember, there's super, super high competition out there. Super high, super aggressive. So now take the accordion and squeeze it down and get creative. Hey, Gail's going to be in that area, I think, pretty early this week. I'd love to have her drop it by. Would that be okay? You know what I mean? Like, so you two can get creative with squeezing the accordion down on the time frame.
We squeezed it, but the minute I went to MLS and I was researching it, it went active with the same agent.
Yeah.
So she actually was talking with two brothers own the property. The parents actually own it, but they're traveling. It's this huge mansion.
Yep.
And for some reason, the other brother who we weren't able to talk to, I left a message, already listed it, and the other brother didn't know it.
Yeah, well, there you go. And that's going to happen with a lot of this big money stuff out there, where there's going to be, big family complications, and and again, you two will learn together. Are there any other decision makers? She just revealed now 2 of those. Could you tell me about that one? And here's the other guy.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, here's the other guy playing coy. He's hiding behind his other brother. They're making a decision. That's another family property. You can just hear it. He all of a sudden he comes out, and he said, no, I'm not going to string you along, because he's respecting her the professional way. She's traveling along the beam of light with them, right? So this is good. I got one more for her. Let's listen to it.
Hello?
Hi, may I please speak to Mr. Petskold?
Speaking.
Hi, this is C&G Group with Coldwell Banker. I'm calling you because I noticed that your beautiful home online, and it did not sell the last time. So I'd like to send you something that will help.
Sorry, this is George's, yeah?
Yes.
Yep, sorry.
Renell.
I'm going to keep, this is Renell, because I'm like, okay, that's not her. So this is really good too. Let me go back to this. Hold on. Here we go again.
Hello?
Hi, may I please speak to Mr. Petskold?
Speaking.
Hi, this is C&G Group with Coldwell Banker. I'm calling you because I noticed that your beautiful home online, and it did not sell the last time. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it any other time that may come up.
Okay, wow. You're hanging on to the wheel. Is she on with us? Yeah. Renell?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're hanging on to the wheel, and your fingers must be white, right? You're hanging so hard onto that wheel with this script. You forgot to say your own name in the beginning. You're who? You're Renell. That's who you are. With whatever. You don't need the whole long title. You just can say, I'm Renell with Coldwell Banker. That's it. Shorten that all up. But this is a personal conversation. And now you're so nervous to get it perfectly right. Now you're stumbling all over. So I'd like to send you some information that'll help you sell it the next time. Right?
Right.
So let's go back and listen to it. You can hear you gripping the wheel. The tone, beautiful. Like really, really nice, engaging tone. Just really engaging. But you're really trying to be so perfect now. You don't have to do this. Just use this tone and really read it slow. Like Amanda's call was just slow, right? Because she's probably reading it. Do you have the script in front of you when you're doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, read it. Read it.
Now?
What's that? No. Read it.
Just in general.
When you're doing these, because watch what happens. So I'd like to send you some information that will help you sell it the next time. Now listen to your version of this, okay? No name, and then when we get to there, listen closely to yourself.
Hello?
Hi, may I please speak to Mr. Petskold?
Speaking.
Hi, this is C&G Group with Coldwell Banker. I'm calling you because I noticed that your beautiful home online, and it did not sell the last time. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it any other time that may come up. Is that something that I can do?
Well, you had time, 12 months to sell it, and you didn't sell it then, so why you sell it now?
We do have bigger selections on.
Okay. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, the rest of that call is all screwed up.
Where are you going? Because you have things in front of you, right? That you can go to that scripting and you can go look at some of the frequently stated objections. Okay? Well, I understand what your perception might be, but there are two very different sides to the business. The listing side, So we focus on the listings that we have. And if we happen to have a buyer, but there's over, in your Florida MLS, you need statistics. Well, there's over 4,000 listings. So when we work with a buyer, we match them up with that. But when we represent our listings, we use our plan. And that's what I wanted to send you, was the plan. So you're trying to do something on muscle that you have never trained on, which is be an agent, to answer agent questions. You follow me?
Right.
What did I say? When the kite string gets all the way out, we're like, oh crap, what do you default to? One tagline. Why is George unique down there? One tagline.
To send out a package.
Nope. One
Send out the
tagline.
plan.
You got it. Because we have a plan. Because we have a plan. That's it. Come back to that in your head. Every time you're starting to lose it like this, because we have a plan. I just want to send you our plan. I'm happy to have George talk to you about why our buyers weren't matched up with it. Default to George. Like Heather said, I can sell Chris all day long. Autumn can sell me all day long. Amanda will be a blah, right? Just you stop trying to do something that you are unqualified to do because you don't need to do it, right? It would take a lot of real estate in the field training to know that. Plus, you guys are new to the Florida market. So a couple of stats. This is why it's also important, to have some of the market stats ready to go. So you're just trying to do this on muscle, and that's what happens, right? Even if I, with all my experience of teaching it and doing it, right? If I do it on muscle, I can instantly feel myself out of sorts losing somebody, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to go there. So we don't have to listen to more of it. You just need to get yourself more athletically ready, read it, and personalize it. You sound really white-knuckled trying to get it just right. Were you nervous?
Yes.
Okay, good. What's making you nervous? Let's get into the reason why you're nervous. I have some theories, but I want to hear what you think.
Not a lot of people answer the phone when I've been making the calls, and it's usually a shock if they do, and it's like,
yeah,
and trying to get something out. The other part is George is on my case about it.
Yeah, I hear that, and I know that. So here's the deal. Well, George, Gail, Danny, we're white-knuckled as the owners because we need these appointments to sustain new business, right? It's new business development. Right. But what George is doing appropriately, he's sending you to me. And you're doing that by doing this. So this is very normal stuff because your tone and your ability is definitely there, right? It's there.
Yes.
I can hear it. I know you know how to talk to people, but now you've got yourself trying to be so perfect that you're furthest from perfect, right? See, what I want you to be is effective, not perfect. That's all I care about. I want you to be effective. So if you will just read it, you're going to be more effective than trying to do it on muscle, right? And I want you to go back to being Raynell. This is Raynell from CE Group at Caldwell Banker. The reason I'm calling is because I saw your beautiful house online and I noticed it didn't sell. So I want to send you some information that will help you sell it the next time. May I do that? The minute you lose that, you open him up to attack. You give him that chance to attack you. Let's go back and listen to it. I'm going to say that one more time. And I want you to see how much more soft but commanding what I'm saying is. Raynell, this is Danny. And you don't even have to go, is Mr. You can even say his name with a question mark. That was a subtlety that I watched Autumn do a couple of times. I personally really like that. And when she teaches, she exaggerates it and says, Raynell, so that it's authoritative, like a mother, right? And so, because that knee jerks them to yes, good, I got you. Raynell, this is Danny Griffin calling from Griffin Realty Group. The reason I'm calling is because, very key word, because it's a trigger. People start to listen, what's in it for them? Because I saw your beautiful house online, and you don't have to overdo that. Beautiful house. You don't need to I saw your beautiful house online, and I noticed it didn't sell. So I wanted to send you some information that would help you sell it the next time. May I do that? Right? It's authoritative. Well, no, look at, I know, I don't know what went wrong or why we didn't match up a buyer. I just simply want to get you the information that will help you sell it the next time, with or without us. So as time goes on, the reason for being here with your own calls is you can settle down into that authoritative spot with just And authoritative doesn't mean what you think it, maybe think it means. It's not Danny's testosterone in command. Women do it even better. They draw men into a spot where they calm them down. That's why, the male testosterone acquiesces to a nice, steady, professional woman's voice. It just does. Right? So don't start, you sound like a vulnerable lamb and the wolf just put his, fangs around your throat. Well, why didn't you sell it? You had a chance. Well, there's 3,000 listings and I'd have to talk to George about whether he was working with somebody in that specific area. When you're talking about one listing and many thousands. I'm trying to send you our listing plan plus some properties that sold so you can see what happened, dum-dum. Right?
Right.
So that's the idea of what's behind all this. So the scripting allows you to bring down the anxiety. So the reason why you're anxious in the beginning after so many calls, you're undertrained in the value of the plan. And that will come with time because we will find value like, holy crap, this really does work. And George goes out and he's following. Could I have a nickel tour of the house? Wonderful. Can we sit down at the table? Wonderful. Let me just reiterate. You're thinking about selling it because of this and you're a 10. Yes, wonderful. Is there anything important to you in this process? Yes, just getting it sold. Okay, let me show you my 7-step plan. I know we sent you a copy, but let me hit the highlights now that I've seen the property. Boom, 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 boom. Here's what I do. Here's what I would do. Any questions about the plan? No, wonderful. Let's talk about the math. Here's what the math is saying. Here's what the net sheet would be. That's the whole process sped up. And I just did it in under 60 seconds. So you have it, he talks about it, and people are beginning to see, wow, nobody else did this. That's why I call it a competitionless lane. Nobody else did this. This is helpful if they're open to this. So see, this guy might be solvable. He's a little bit ornery about not getting it done, but he might be solvable. So if we lose him in the beginning because we sound like everybody else, and you started to sound like everybody else. You're stumbling, you're fumbling. So now he's like, oh, next, throw in the pile, especially if he's a high D on the DISC personality profile. 0 tolerance, small window, right? Small window. So that's why scripting, especially for the high D. See, what's interesting is we train for the high D. The reality is it's a mix of everybody you end up talking to, right? But we train for the high D because they scare us the most. But if you have strength in your value, and I give you permission to say, like I did to Heather, then you're done with that guy. That's going nowhere. Move, move, move. The next person that appreciates you, that doesn't talk to you, derogatorily, he makes a good point because his misperception is that you, the person that just called him, like everybody else, well, you didn't have a buy. No. Hold on. That's not the way the business works. The business works that I represent my sellers and try to bring the buyers. If I'm working with the buyer, there are thousands of listings in the Florida MLS. So you're asking one agent to have one buyer to align perfectly. That's got nothing to do with it. See, clearly I can tell you need a copy of my plan. Whether you use this or not is irrelevant, but you clearly need a plan. That's how adamant I am about this dum-dum's misperception. I say that in a loving way. I don't know the guy. I'm not judging him. I'm saying they don't know what they know. They don't know. So they sound stupid. If they only knew that they have no plan, if they only knew how the business really works, they would never say that. Like I said to Autumn when she had the huge, we discovered together, the big epiphany for Autumn was, holy crap, even the top people have adjusted their way of dealing with people to a misperception. They're not leaning in with the truth. They're saying, I have a buyer. Because the people on the other phone, well, do you have a buyer? See, he just said it differently. Well, how come you didn't sell it? You had a chance. Where was your buyer? They all say that same silly thing when they're frustrated. Because that's a perception of how it works. Because nobody's picking up the phone and saying something differently. Got it?
Right.
Okay, thoughts, questions?
Yeah, honestly, he was with Cole Banker 3 years ago, and that's what he was referring to. Maybe right. We saw it in the history, and he later in the call, I think he called her out on it, and I'm like, and stuck. He's like, because he said we had your #1 agent, and that agent is for Cole Banker for Florida, but again, it's not the same.
Okay, I wasn't at Caldwell Banker 3 years ago. I was in another state, and I have a plan. Right. We all work independently. We're independent contractors. I'd like to send you a copy of my plan. So, George, for your own edification.
Yeah, that's what I tried to get
George,
So,
George,
follow up with
George,
them
George. You pick up the phone and you say it yourself and let her listen.
I did.
Okay.
I sent you the call. You hung up on me.
Okay, is this the second one here?
The third one.
I have two. Let me see.
I sent.
All right, good. I'm going to it. Good. You did exactly what I would ask you to do. Let's see what he does. Let's see how you do.
Hello.
Hello, Petzo.
Yeah.
Yes, this is George Muthart with C&G Group at Coldwell Banker. My assistant called you yesterday, and she said you had some frustrations and some.
No.
Hello.
No.
Hello.
Awful. I'll beat you up. Awful.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Because that was the notes I got. I didn't.
I know, but what do you, George? It's the same critique for all of us.
Okay.
Where's the plan discussion? You're babbling.
Okay.
See, right now, we all do it. Right now,
Absolutely.
we all do it because we're not trained. That's awful.
Right. I agree. I didn't bring up the plan fast enough.
No, George. It's got nothing to do with speed. There was no structure to your call. You tried to do it on muscle and you got hung up on. I would have hung up on that call.
Yeah.
And so would you have. You're stumbling. Well, my assistant called you in and you had some frustration. What? What are you talking about? You're interrupting a high D. You already knew that going in. What are you talking about? Hey, my assistant called you the other day, George, and I just wanted to make sure we got this plan out to you. I heard that, maybe in the past, Coldwell Banker's been part of your past, but I wasn't even here. So I want to get you my plan. Is that okay? Go bull rush him for your own practice, but by just practicing the plan. I don't know who you were talking about, but I have a plan. I just want to get it out in the mail to you. That okay? Because you know what he's going to do to everybody who calls? The same thing. So the guy that gets through to him wins. So for your own abilities to be improved, send the guy the plan if he hasn't relisted.
Right.
Say, listen.
Yeah, he wants the list again.
Say.
To me, he sounded like he really wanted to actually sell his house, but he was just overly frustrated.
You got it. So send the plan. Say, look, we heard your frustration on the phone. We still wanted you to have this. We can't speak for anybody else but ourselves. This is who we are. This is our plan. Here's what's sold around you. We'll call you to make sure you got it. Send it to them. For both of you to keep fighting on this one. This is a really good test case. This is one to not give up on.
Right.
Until you know you're not the
problem. Should have had a third call from her, too.
Okay, George.
Or one where she got a plan.
Georgie, slow down. I'm not done with this one yet. Slow down. What are you going to do?
Send out the plan.
And then what?
Follow up with him after a week.
And what are you going to say?
Ask him if he received my plan.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Then, if he hangs up again or whatever, then we can deal with that then. But this is a really good test case. I want to continue until I'm certain my advice is not the problem and you two aren't the problem. Right now, all three of us are the problem.
Yeah.
But we're going to work on this one as a test case and get a follow-up to see if we can at least walk away with a big confidence boost that we didn't give up. Okay? Copy?
Do you want me to call back on that, or do you want George to call back?
I want him, and I want you to listen.
Okay.
Okay? I want him, and I want you to listen. Because we're going to put it on him. Because if he's going to white knuckle over you, then he needs to get this in his head too. Because that wasn't it. And he knows better. But I'm showing you that, like, you're his wife. You got roughed up on the phone. Guy calls up, he's frustrated with you, but he wants to protect you, and we got all this weird emotion, and it sucked. Right?
Yeah.
Got to be able to bring that emotion down. Hey, Jim. It's George calling from CG Group at Coldwell Banker. Reason I'm calling, I know my assistant tried to get your permission to send this. I just what?
You froze.
Oh, I did.
Okay. Yeah, you froze for a second.
A little spotty internet here today, but here's what I'm saying.
His internet must have known he was frustrated.
Check.
There we go.
Check. So, thank you. I'm glad you all get concerned when I drop off. I like that.
Yes, we
Thank
do.
you for your concern. You guys are.
I'm like getting information. I'm like,
Hey, Gil, you'll appreciate this. I just had my Sally Field moment. You like me. You really like me.
Hey, Danny, can I make a suggestion?
100%. Rock and roll.
For your like team, like, you know, your mastermind team people, like maybe George should have somebody that like gives them like a pep talk. Like everybody needs a pep talk or like to run things over right before they make that like his other call. It might just help George give you some like more confidence, like, yeah, I got this, because you know.
Well, Heather.
I mean, if it's Danny, it's Danny. If Danny's not there,
yeah,
somebody else can do it.
Heather, Georgie, well, I love it. And that's why we have these groups. I'd like you all to have your sales call conversation in the Campfire group. So anybody that's listening to this inside the training program that is not a member of the private group on Campfire, that's where you should all be able to on demand say, going into one, what do you guys think? And we should see the power of the group over there on Campfire.
Yeah.
Keep it over there.
Yeah,
okay. But let me say, that. Well, everybody needs that. I need that. I need to reset myself at every house, Heather. Like I'll sit in the driveway and reset myself because I'm carrying all my luggage from the day, right? Or the week. Right. So the idea here though is, here's what's even more important. And I want to leave the call with this, okay? Let's just leave it at that. We have a couple good chunks here. Here's what I want to leave it with. The training on the plan is the ultimate rah-rah. If there's a safety net beyond the moments with Danny, beyond the Campfire, the more you learn the plan, I highly recommend that you all get your team leader to download a copy of me talking through the buyer plan and the seller plan in front of a whiteboard. I've had it up there for 5 years or so, or I've had it for them. Now it's up on the site. They can download it, okay? Watch it. Because the more you can go to that when you get lost, like Renelle was a little bit out there, but listen to her tone. It's perfect. It's beautiful. George has been trained by me for years, and he comes to those calls. But in the heat of the moment, there's no training for that other than what we do, right? You can't have any of us there. You get slapped in that moment, and your emotion goes here. And when your emotion goes above your head, guess what? You're not doing anymore. You're not thinking. So the more deeply trained you are, the subconscious kicks in. Not the conscious, the subconscious in the training. It's like a survival instinct. Why do you think they do it in the military? Over and over and over and over and over. Sleep with your gun, pull it apart, put it together, sleep with the gun, pull it together, pull it apart, right? That's what the training is for. So in that moment, yeah, exactly, Autumn. Her comments are popping up. I can see them. No matter how good you are, it's that constant reset and retraining. Autumn will tell you, like, we just get so freaking emotional as human beings. That's what we do. You can always hear it on this call that I need to help you get trained. So in the heat of the moment, when all logic is lost to emotion and you have 5 seconds to recover, we need to train it so the subconscious is just there. There's the only rah-rah you'll ever need in the heat of the moment. Make sense? By the way, highly recommend go listen to or read the new Psycho-Cybernetics. It is hands down the singular book that changed the way I do business. I train my kids. I understood everything about the mechanism of how the brain works, the mind works through this. It's Psycho, Brain, Cybernetics, Steering System. It's an incredibly powerful book. Incredibly, because it's the mechanism by which you survive those moments, right? My job is to train you in the methodology and to refine it. Your job is to get it into that subconscious. Cool?
Yep,
good suggestion, though, Heather. I want the Campfire. I want everybody over there. I'd love to see you talk to each other more there without me. Let me once in a while pop in. Like, support each other, because we all do this, right? Can't hear one voice, have to hear many. All right, bravo. Thank you all who sent stuff. Jessica, did you send me anything today? Because I didn't mean to forget you. And if not, you'll kick me off next Friday.
Oh, that's okay. I did send a couple. One was the expired, and the other one was a buyer that turned into a seller.
All right, hold on. I am going to take it then because I was kind of finishing on time. I'm going to take one more from you.
Well, that's too good to give up.
Yep.
That's okay.
Agreed. When did you send it?
Sometime this week. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know which email? Try to remember to send it to me right here. Oh, it came up right before the call, so you're right at the top. Okay, because you were actually the first. All right, here we go. Buyer turned into a seller. We're going to end today with this delicious little piece. Hang on.
I think it's a long one.
All good. Why is this doing this? Come on. Slow answer, huh?
Yeah.
Hello? Hi, is this Jessica? What? Is this Jessica? No. Hold on. Okay.
That was beautiful.
Hold on. As the father of many teenagers, okay, that's just priceless. Let's keep going.
Classic.
Yep.
Telemarketing is funny.
Oh yeah. If you have a sense of humor.
It's so funny.
We're a minute in.
Hello? Hi, is this Jessica? Yes, it is. Hi, Jessica. This is also Jessica. I'm the client care coordinator with O'Connor Realty Group. I'm just calling because I want to make sure that we're sending you properties that you want to see. Are you mainly looking in the Shawano area?
Actually, what it was is my son is, okay, well, so we are looking in the Shawano, Clintonville area when we look at them, but my son is kind of the one keeping an active eye on properties because we live on 2 acres and he wants us to have a little more land. He's 16 going on 17. So I was looking at a listing. He said that you guys had one. This was, I don't know, a couple months ago. Said you guys had a listing on, Capitol Drive. I think they work on Capitol Drive, so they're looking near the farm where they work. So anyway, so I couldn't find it, and there was something there, but the only way to look at the property on your website was to sign up for email. So that's the story.
Okay. Okay.
But anyways, but yeah. So
see, that just makes me cringe what she just said. That the only way people can engage you, and if that was one of your listings, was to be forced to sign up, I just threw up in my mouth for you, right?
That's always been a problem.
Of course
People
it
always
is.
complain about signing up.
You need to show this to Joe and Jerry and say he threw up listening to that. That is business repellent. That is that old school lead mentality that you can't even feature your own listings to the public without somebody, signing up. Not the right business model, period. Let's keep going.
So anything farmish with property acreage or whatever. I mean, I'm still looking at it, and if something was to, be a real home run for us, but we have 8 kids, and I'm not in a position right now to fix something up, and that's kind of all that's been on the market for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had noticed that too, and it's just like, holy man.
Yeah, it's actually gotten worse than it was before.
Well, with 8 kids, they can, all handle a hammer.
It's true. We actually did fix one up this, and then sold it, and we're here now. But
nice.
Yeah, I've got some little ones, so it makes it a little tough.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't work.
Yep.
Are you looking at like selling your house that you live in now in the future?
Right. So if we
so you segue into that without really kind of like let me go back and beat you up a little bit on the value on the buy side. You instantly know the catastrophic problem that these guys have with just the casual browser trying to engage the brand, right? They actually blew off the listing. You know what I mean? Like they signed in, they did it, and they bounced, right? So, I mean, you still have them, which is good. So it captures them. So there is some benefit to a site like that. You know how I stand just, in general about it. But the problem is, where's your value ladder for those types of leads that sign into the website? Like, what's your upsell? You tell me. Because you don't have it here. There's no command over what's next for her to differentiate between all the generic websites where they have to opt in or not, right? So let's throw aside the argument opt-in versus not. Let's just take it all and put it in one. Does anybody have an upsell? You tell me. What's the upsell? It's the obvious one. Just state it. See, you don't know. It's not rolling off the tip of your tongue. Well, you know what I could do is you go to one of our sites, and those are really lead capture sites. But really, the source of all the information is the multiple listing service. And it's important also to see what has sold. So what I could do is I could curate or organize 5 or 6 properties with acreage that sold, send them to you. You could tell me if those look like the types of things you and your son are looking for. And then I'll just set, I think this is exciting. He's got that kind of interest. Why don't I set both of you up directly in the MLS? So immediately when something comes on, you don't have to keep going through all these sites. Why not just have it exactly in your email? You missed that.
Okay.
Are you aware of that until I just taught you that?
No.
Okay. And there's the problem. Again, it's a systemic problem. I really want you to get this recording, sit with Joe and Jerry, and have them listen to what I'm saying. You guys have some systemic problems where the value added is not there. Because if you're just leaving them in a generic website, you are now just like everybody else. You have no upsell. Right? The value is you taking the time as the client care manager, which you just described yourself as, to get them more and better info. Why are you doing it the hard way with your son? Why don't I just let you guys have some fun direct in MLS? That way there's no syndication delay. Everything when it happens is in your email. And I'll take a look at some of the solds so you're not guessing. You see what the money buys for acreage in that area. That value upsell is lost on you, because what we're trying to do is take this massive pile of leads, get rid of the shit, and move that woman up into a whole other prospect pile that is delicious for follow-up. Because if Jessica Rossi, the client care manager, okay, can keep talking to that person, and really you're the telemarketer in this role, the telemarketer can keep, and this is what I'm going to teach Autumn. Why I'm going to manage Autumn, so you know, is exactly right there. The connection to that upsell of value, of getting the properties. And this is not easy for Autumn. She doesn't love tech. But we're going to make the training so simple, so straightforward that immediately she can control that woman so that when I say control, you've got continuity of info going. It's the service moment that hooks you in relationship where they appreciate you now more than everybody else. Autumn has lost some follow-up with some people because I didn't train her enough on the upsell and the value. That's what ingratiates them more, that you, above and beyond all the other opt-ins that this kid has done for his mother, you alone are the one that offered something different. And you alone are the one that went there for her, that took an extra beat. Make sense?
It does.
Okay, yes. I want you to play this recording with Joe and Jerry in a private meeting. Sit there so they hear me, listen to your call, they listen to the issues, and they keep going. Let me play the rest of it.
We were to find something better suited to our family in the area, we definitely would, make a contingent offer and.
Red alert! Red alert! This is a closable deal.
And put our house up for sale. Okay. Because that would, that'd be the only way that would work. But.
Okay. All right. And then, what would be your time frame of buying and selling?
If we could, you already know, if we could find something, right? So you have to solve the if we could find something. Well, we can help you find something, no problem. Here's what you do. I put you in MLS. I show you it's sold. You tell me if that's it or not. You got to get better set up to find something, lady. And I'm the gal to help you do it. Red alerts are going off everywhere here, right?
Right.
Okay, let's keep going.
Oh, you mean in
Like
the
if something
future?
like, yeah.
Well, well, we've been here for 2 years, so 2 years is my, like, gotta stay there for 2 years.
Woo!
Okay.
but obviously, it would really have to be just the right place to come up.
Okay.
And so unless that were to happen, it just, which, at this point in time, it doesn't look really likely because the market seems to be a really great seller's market, but the demand is so high.
Oh my gosh, I'm drooling.
Right.
I'm drooling.
Right. What price range do you want to stay under for properties that I look into for you guys?
Yep. So it would need to be under. Definitely under 200. Probably under 180 would be better. So that really narrows it down badly.
Okay.
Look too good
So that's okay.
So.
That's okay. And then, do you want me to send out a packet of information as to what's the?
What are you doing here? Apologetics. Do you want me to? This is a red alert. You're like an ambulance driver that just showed up. Your arm's hanging off. Do you want me to like patch it back together? Right? You there, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. That's what you are. Where's your sense of urgency, right? That's what it sounds like. I mean, honestly, close this, lady. Tell her I'm your gal. You got it. But again, I know you're undertrained in this, so I'm just like, I'm training right now. This isn't a critique for you. You're undertrained here, right? I can feel it. I can feel it. So that's why I love live calls. You're doing a good job. You're moving her along. But it's very obvious to me sitting here as the guide saying, oh my gosh, delish. Wonderful. What you really need is a couple copies of our plans. And by the way, give her hope. So look at these guys are very good at putting deals together like this. Sell them. Like Heather was saying, she's already selling. Autumn's already selling me. They sell them. Get enthusiastic. I got the guy for you. Not only do I have the plan for you, I got to get that in the mail to you. I got the guy for you. My role is to get you seeing some properties. And by the way, forget about what you think is happening in the market. Let them go on the hunt. You don't know what they'll find for you. Some of it might even be off market, right? Get enthusiastic here. You're trying to kind of figure it out yourself. And this is where I'm saying people are trying to do like, Rennell, it was the same thing. Rennell, you guys trying to play real estate. Don't play real estate. Close. You did a great job. You're there. Close them. Close them. Right? Let me beat Jerry and Joe up. Let me beat George up. Right? Just close your part of it out when you hear that there's something there. Right? All right.
Right.
Let's listen to the end of it and then we'll wrap.
Been selling in the market, and like our listing plan and pictures and details as what's sold in your area. That way you can get an idea, like in the future as to what things are going for.
If you don't mind sending that out, that would probably be a really interesting thing.
Of course it would.
For us to look at, just to kind of have an idea. Although I don't know how, like, those things, there's an expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are changing so fast as far as prices and what things are going for. But it would be very good to keep.
Here's your new line. There's always a deal no matter what the market's doing. We just need to know specifically what you want and let us play the expert. There's always a deal. And the good news for you is that it is a seller's market, so we can get top dollar for the sell side.
To keep that in mind anyways.
Okay, yeah, most definitely. And then what is the best mailing address?
Sure, it's W9704 Apple Road.
Okay, enough. Good job. It's a real true training moment for us. You need to do me a favor before I talk to them next week. You need to get with them you need to listen to the recording of the training call here today, which they can do off of the Facebook group with you. Okay. Sit still, go to the end of the call. I think we start you at about, 70 minutes into the call, wherever it is. Find it, cue it up for them, and say, he wants you to sit still and listen to this with me, because we will be able to close a lot of the mistake gaps that we have. Okay, got it? And they will hear it in a live call. One good, really juicy, delicious. Man, am I glad that I knew it was there. Please stop sending them midweek. Save them for me till this moment, okay? That way you guys are all nice and in queue. I'll go faster during these calls if I have a lot of you giving me stuff at once, okay? Sam, I'm going to take a pass on you till next week, so you're up first next week. You kick me because we've given you a lot of one-on-one time, and I think you've done great, but get me a couple of your worst and best for next week. We'll edit it down. And remember, ladies, especially all of you that are doing the outside sales, if any of you could record an inbound return call so we hear that, that'd be fab, okay? Let's keep pushing this envelope. Autumn, any final thoughts here for us?
No, I'm just really proud of all the telemarketers. Just hear so much great stuff and potential. It's just a lot of them just need the language. That's all.
Totally agreed. Bravo, ladies, to all of you who participated today, and have a super fantabulous weekend. Gail, I'm out in your mothership, Minnesota. I'm out in your homeland out here.
I know, you're lucky.
Yeah, I am.
You know what they say? It's not true that the state bird is the mosquito.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is
Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. It's Michigan, says Grant, right? GVD, so he weighs in. I will tell you, woke up one day, it was pretty cold already.
Well, one thing that they say, there's 2 seasons in Minnesota, July and winter.
You got it. There's no doubt. Winter, I think, has already arrived. So that's why the kids
Enjoy.
out here. That's why he's playing. Well, that's why he's out here going to school playing hockey. It's Canada South, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. All right, everybody. Have a fabulous weekend. Happy
Peace.
Labor Day. Yep.
Bye.
Hey, Danny.
Yes.
Jerry's going to be gone next week, and he'll come back on Thursday. I know you usually do a call one on Monday, but Monday's a holiday.
Yeah, no problem. We'll catch them. Tell them I want to talk next week later when they're back.
Okay.
Cool. Good job,
All right,
Jess.
thanks.
We'll get this right.
Bye.
Bye, all.